In the world I describe on Bitcoin, prices fall by exactly the rate that those people go.
Wait, what? Why?
Because it's productivity, the productivity that we choose, the prices fall by that. They don't need the job anymore because prices keep falling and falling and falling.
Oh my God. Okay. See, it's another Jeff Booth mind-breaking moment.
But it's funny that and maybe I'm just bad at communicating it. Because that's what they.
What did I say last time? The penny dropped. The penny dropped twice.
They keep falling. They keep falling forever. And so the job that you think you need to pay for the artificial prices that are going up is only needed because of the artificial prices going up.
I know. Yeah.
It's not needed. You live in abundance. You continually live in. If prices kept falling, if prices fell by 5% a year, then 10% a year as the natural course, and then 15%.
Okay, but wait,
and 20%.
If people lived in abundance, what incentive would you have to build things, for example?
So there's always going to be things to solve.
Okay.
Always. In the free market, you get paid more than somebody else for creating value. How do you get paid? You get paid by creating value for somebody else.
Yeah.
The more people you create value for, the more you get paid. Then what happens? Somebody sees the value you're making, and they compete with you, and they remove your value, and you have to compete harder and harder to provide more value. And the output of that is all prices continue to fall. You win, they win, everyone wins. Because even if you weren't part of that equation, those people competing create value for you when prices are allowed to be in the free market. The only way you lose from that equation is if you live in a centralized market. The prices are artificially made to rise.
I see what you're saying.
Right? So then you'd lose your job. All prices are higher.
And you wouldn't be
and you don't know what to do.
And you wouldn't be able to.
So you turn to the government who's creating the problem and you say, save me.
Save me.
And they create a new program to save you. That where does money come from? From you.
Yeah.
In this world, you just get better and better and better. It is the perfect expression of humankind trading with each other in service of humankind.
That is...
And Bitcoin is imposing that discipline. If you own part of Bitcoin, you are already part of that system.
That is mind-blowing. So what about highly centralized countries that essentially depend on this top-down control of their population?
They'll get eradicated. So Bitcoin is terrible for dictators.
Okay.
Why?
So you see the CCP essentially.
So why was the CCP so against Bitcoin? Well, because it's terrible for dictators.
Of course.
It's terrible for a centralized planning system.
That's why they want a CBDC.
Yeah. So but again, why many other nations are wanting CBDCs is the same reason. A really good friend of mine, Alvaro, runs the Democracy Lab in Costa Rica. And he has some stats that I think it was 10 years ago, 47% of humanity lived in somewhat democracies, right? So 53% lived in dictatorships. Now, only 10 years later, I think it's like 82% live in somewhat dictatorships. The trend is getting worse and worse and worse. Why would it get worse and worse and worse? Because the dictator rises because of the manipulation of money. Typically what happens is you go socialism first.
Yeah.
And because socialism can't fix that problem, right? Eventually someone moves to fascism to take back control, and they consolidate more power, dictator, and consolidate more control. You can't fix that problem because it's all based on money coming artificially from somebody else that should go to them, to you. This is why the problem looks like it.
But can't they fund the men with guns? And can't the free market system not fund the men with guns as efficiently as the centralized system?
Nodes. All coming back to nodes, same as nodes on Fedimint. If there was one node in Bitcoin, if Bitcoin was completely open, everybody could see it, eventually the men with guns, let's first one node. Men with guns would go kill that person.
Yeah.
It would be over.
Yeah.
The honest system has never prevailed because the honest system was always outed. If you were honest against this,
Yeah.
overwhelming force against you. This system, because it's decentralized and secure, and that decentralization is hidden around the world, you can't stop it. Stop one person, keeps going. Stop two people, keeps going.
To make an analogy, I'm connecting dots, Jeff. This is why all the guerrilla warfare was as successful as it was. Like, you look at Vietnam, if you look at Afghanistan was invaded by the British, the Soviets, and the Americans. Super centralized force,
You can't win
latest technology, and they got beat by a bunch of independent nodes with AK-47s.
Yeah. And now this is the opposite.
Is that a fair analogy?
Yeah, but that's a war analogy to do it. This is a peaceful analogy to do it, because all you have to do is move to a node. You can hide your node behind a Tor browser. You can be part of this network, and the more people that are part of this network running nodes, the more safe and secure you are in a group that it cannot be found, globally distributed group. That's what's protecting it. That's actually why I think Fedi and Fedimint is such a big deal, because it expands that ability for you to do that in a complete private way, and gives you all of your friends and people that your communications private, nodes are private, and it expands essentially that node model. Yeah, in a guardian type of model into a way that extends the network. But yes, that's ultimately it can't be stopped.
It's so fast. Again, you have to zoom out. You have to think outside of the matrix to understand this new system, and it's difficult because it's not intuitive. But once you point it out, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, so what you have to do, and what I did, what you're doing, once you see it, you can, and then you choose to move your time towards it and be part of it. But the first step is this true? Like, could this actually resolve this paradox that we've always lived in? We've always lived in a control system. Could we actually live in something else? And when you understand Satoshi's brilliance in creating this and what this looks like, and the cypherpunks that risk their lives to be able to free money from state, but now that network, how big it is already, and how many people are there, and it's expanding faster and faster, kind of have to ask yourself, why would I want to live in this other system when I can live in this system?
Need liquidity without having to sell your Bitcoin? For more than 6 years now, Ledn has been the trusted choice for Bitcoin-backed lending, with transparency, security, and trust at their core. I absolutely love these guys, and I personally not only have an account with them, but also a loan. And some of the key features that I love about Ledn is the fact that there are no monthly payments. You pay at the end of the term. You also have the ability to roll over the loan as well, and you can pay it back whenever you want. Essentially what they do is that they help their clients unlock the liquidity of their BTC, allowing you to HODL while still accessing the wealth of your Bitcoin. They've been battle tested with their focus on transparency, security, and trust, allowing them to build a proven track record of client success and security, helping tens of thousands of clients harness the value of their digital assets with confidence and peace of mind. Learn more about what your BTC can do for you today. Simply Bitcoin viewers get 0.25% off their first loan by using the link in the video/podcast description. What are you waiting for? Head over to ledn.io today.